our very first Insane Prospecting webinar, unscheduled for the year. Those of you who are watching this live, thank you for somehow making it onto this. Thanks for being here. And those that are watching the recorded version, well, that will be the majority of you because I hadn't scheduled any for this year. But by the end of this week, all of the scheduled webinars will be up on the Insane Prospecting website with click-throughs so you can participate live and also take part in the Q&A and chat after the webinar. So just so that you know what I'm talking about, anyone watching the recorded version doesn't have access to the live Q&A. You have to be a registered site member, come on live and stay on after the webinar to participate in that. Anyone watching the recorded version, both through the website or on any other platform, will only see the webinar part. They won't be able to view the discussion or the chit chat or the Q&A or whatever happens afterwards. So it's at this time of the year that we're saying things like compliments in brackets of the season. And we're asking questions like, how was your holiday? And then I had to laugh yesterday because I heard the next holiday question rearing its beautiful head. We are only on the 10th of January today, and people are going, so what are you doing for the Easter holidays? And I had to ask someone that myself just to tease the situation, because we go from holiday to holiday, which I love from a planning perspective. But from a conversational perspective, I personally find it kind of scratching the surface insofar as depth of conversation goes. So I do get, of course, that when connecting with people, we look for things that make us feel comfortable and make them feel comfortable. And those things usually have to do with current global social events like New Year's. So Happy New Year, compliments of the season. I wish you all the best for 2023. May it be a big year for all of you. Look what I have. Insane Prospecting caps. I have a whole bunch of them, and they'll be given out quite strategically to people that have helped me as thank yous, to people that attend certain events and workshops, also to providers and contractors, also to anyone that comes to my office this week. This week being the week of the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 11th, 12th, 13th, so until Friday the 13th. Any one person that arranges with me to come to my office, you can grab one of these caps. I do ask that when you collect the cap, you post a picture of yourself on at least 3 social platforms. You see the bribery over here. Yes, you know, this is a prospecting webinar. This is the way I prospect. This is less prospecting and more branding. It's the way I build my brand. I would love to see one of my devout followers wearing this cap, sporting this cap as they take selfies or videos and post those on 3 platforms. So anyway, this cap to the first person that contacts me and can come around to my office in Bryanston by the end of this week. All right, what do we have on the agenda today? Nothing much. It's kind of loose, but I'm going to discuss some things with you. It's certainly not a formal one theme after the other agenda. But before I get into the thick of it, for those of you that are new, or those of you that are less familiar, I just want to remind you that this webinar is a weekly occurrence every Tuesday at 8 a.m., except school holidays. I take school holidays off and public holidays. So any of those 2 types of holidays, the webinar will not be happening. But by the end of this week, you'll be able to go to the Insane Prospecting website /webinar and see all of the scheduling for the next few months. So this is the part or the one product of Insane Prospecting that is open and free for all. There are others, but we also have our flagship product, which is a 25 CPD, 27 module course, which includes 6 weeks of support. So it works on mindset and skill set and helps you to get in front of potential clients. It is the most powerful collateral or content which is unique in this space, designed exclusively for financial advisors. The whole Insane Prospecting suite of services began with a full-day boot camp in 2019, which thankfully finally resumed last year because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it with masks. I didn't want to do it with any type of restrictions. So until those restrictions were dropped, we went back into a room for a day. And that boot camp will be happening twice this year, probably in April and August, to be confirmed. And then toward the end of last year, I launched the mini bootcamp. It's not as deep or as powerful. I can't say it's not as powerful. It's different. It's different content. It's the kind of content that can have a group of people from a company come in, grab some skills, do some practice, and go out there and prospect right away. You don't need the biggest plan in the world. You don't need the perfect strategy. You don't need to develop your mindset to the nth degree. You just need some stuff that will support you to go out there. So the mini bootcamp is designed for groups of financial advisors within a business. I go through to that business for 4 hours and develop it, and I'm losing my words. This is the first boot camp of the year. Let's try this again. I go into your offices and deliver it for 4 hours to your people. So if you're a financial advisor and you're interested in this, speak to your business. If you're a business owner, a franchise principal, a branch manager, whatever it may be, and you're interested in having a mini boot camp in your business for your financial advisors at the beginning of the year to get them going on the prospecting treadmill, bring me in. Just a heads up, you will have to schedule way in advance. And by the way, anywhere in the country, this is why I need it in advance. Okay, the more the merrier. There's a cost per person ticket to it. So divided, just throw everything at it, divided by person, by number of people. Okay, so I don't want to get too into the, I just want to check something over here. Okay, I'm good. I'm just checking some Zoom settings. I don't want to get too into the New Year's resolutions goals, because we tend to get carried away with these to an extent that is just too large. And I'll refer to something by Tony Robbins later that will support you in so many respects, that you can go and watch for 35 minutes or 34 minutes rather than listen to me babble on about in some diluted version of it. This is actually a video that I found a number of years ago because I was looking for something specific that resonated with the way that I think and feel about New Year's resolutions. But what I do want to tell you now is that not just because it's 2023 and January and it's a new year, but just because even if you want to force that, because if you want to shift your mindset to force the belief that this is true, that's fine. And the truth that I'm talking about here is that opportunities are abound. Opportunities are abound. So whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. Just adopt that belief for now so that it can serve you to do what you need to do to go out there, prospect, and build your business so that you can live the life you want. Again, for those that are new, I always talk about that. I always talk about prospecting relating to business goals, relating to your own personal goals. So where we are right now is that there is no more time for apathy. Apathy is over. There are no excuses. Ordinarily, I would say that there's no time or excuse for apathy anyway. But we have had some reasons over the last 3 years to hold us back from doing what we need to do. I don't necessarily think that there were reason enough, but there were reasons, and there was a lot of buy into those reasons. But here's the reality. COVID is over. COVID's over, at least insofar as people are dying and there are queues outside hospitals, and we have to take tests for any piece of travel. There are no more restrictions. There are no more restrictions to what we do, how we do it, to how we move, and so on. So those restrictions, those lockdowns, everything that was happening around us had a massive impact on our psychology, which restricted our mindset, and for so many people had a knock on confidence. There's no reason for that anymore. There's only reason to look forward and move forward in pursuit of everything that you want to create. We also know that the economy is broken. We know that. We know that the rand is beaten. We know that inflation is at an all-time high, not just here, but all around the world. We know that load shedding is here to stay. I see panels going up in offices and people's houses more than ever before. Some people are spending R500,000 putting panels on their roofs because they know that load shedding has been going on since 2007, and it's probably not going to go away anytime soon. And the situation is probably not going to get any better because Eskom doesn't have a plan. And even if they have half a plan, generators or generating units or power plants keep breaking. And there are few alternatives, and the process, well, you know the story. Water problems will get worse because the infrastructure is failing. And when reservoirs are turned off to fix and they're turned back on, the pressure breaks the system. We get burst after burst after burst. And you know what? The truth and reality is that politics is politics, and that won't change. So what we've seen is here to stay. If 20 years ago you were very positive and then you somehow went to neutral, you were kind of on the fence about whether the political economic situation of South Africa will get better. Well, we're probably on the other side of that fence now, meaning that we went from positive to negative. And I'm not talking about your mindset and your approach and your relationship with the country. I'm talking about the facts. So you only need to buy into this insofar as the reality is concerned, so that you can accept what is, so that you can move forward. No more excuses. COVID is not an excuse anymore. We know what's going on in the world. We know what's going on in the country. We know that if we take our eyes off the road for a second, we're going to hit a pothole. We know this. So let's accept that reality so that we can do what we need to do and be who we need to be to build the business that we want. Okay, you have little control over all of these external forces, if any control or influence at all. The control and influence that you have is over yourself, who you are, and what you do. So at this time of the year, despite it being New Year and only the 10th of January, just look at it and take this opportunity to invest in yourself from a skill set point of view and a mindset point of view. So from a skill set point of view, it's all those things that you're familiar with. It's the learning, it's the education. If there's something you want to study, go and study it. If there's a skill you want to develop, go and develop it. If there's something you want to take on, take it on. Go enhance the knowledge about that thing. Go do your CFP, go do your advanced CFP, go read a book on investing, go read a book on economics, go get that degree that you wanted, go get that qualification that you wanted. Watch YouTube videos, speak to people, watch interviews, do whatever you need to improve your skill set. How can you take your financial planner skill set from here to here? That's just a tiny little increment up. If you got a bigger goal, how can you take it from here to here to here to here to here over the course of the year? How can you improve yourself with regards to what you do and how you do it, so that when you show up in front of a potential client, you know more, you are more, and you can do more. In terms of mindset, that's the second part of what we work with within the world of insane prospecting: skill sets and mindset. What was I talking about? Let's give it a sec and check Zoom. Okay, let's check other platforms. Okay, looks like we are good. Let's just switch this light back on so that I'm not in the dark. There we go. Okay, back in business. I remember before I had wireless earphones, I'd get up and rip my computer down and have it dangling from my ears. Go wireless in 2023. Okay, there's a lot of work to do around mindset, and so much of it you will find by attending these webinars. A lot of it you will do and drop deeply into by taking the course, and a lot of it you will find and work with in other ways that you interact with insane prospecting, like through the boot camp, the mini boot camp, the social media, and if you have the opportunity to do group work with me or even one-on-one work with me. Mindset is a big part of what we do. So in 2023, it is time, from a prospecting impetus point of view, to join those societies that you wanted to join those clubs, those groups of people doing things. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever you were thinking of doing, it's time to do. There's no risk of dying by being with other people. There's no risk of getting sick by going out there anymore. There are no excuses. Just look out for those potholes, okay? It is time to take up the hobbies and interests that you've wanted to be or that you've considered doing. Remember, prospecting and how insane prospecting works with prospecting is all about getting in front of potential clients. That, in my experience, with all of the hundreds, thousands of financial advisors that I've met and worked with over the last, where are we now? I think 19th year. Over the last 19 years, the biggest challenge is, how do I get new clients? And within that, the biggest challenge is, how do I get in front of potential clients? Because for most of you, once you're in front of the potential clients, you have a much greater chance of acquiring them as a client. Your challenge is to get in front of them. So if you've been thinking of doing things, do them. Hobbies and interests. I'm not going to go into detail on what those hobbies and interests could be. You know, trust me. When it is the time to take action, you can reflect back on the thoughts that you've had. You know what to do. You're holding back on taking action is not because you don't know what to do, it's because of the fear of doing it. And we can even go into a lot of depth around that fear, but that's more on the course and more the one-on-one work. Insane Prospecting course, 27 modules. Well, it's 21 modules plus 6 weeks of support, which is another 6 modules, and 25 CPD points. Module 2, I give you 101 ways of getting in front of potential new clients across 15 categories. And you know what? Not one of them is cold calling. For those of you who know me and know the brand, you'll know that I'm quite passionate about that. For those of you who don't, I do not advocate cold calling for a number of reasons. And you'll see this come up in addresses that I do, in talks that I do, and social. It comes up all the time. Okay, there are very specific reasons, which I'm not going to go into today. Point is, there are 101 other things that you can do. Okay, it is time to commit to yourself, not just the skill set and not just the mindset, that's overall and all encompassing, but more in terms of strategy. So I spoke about hobbies and interests, but maybe a little bit more specific. If you wanted to play that sport, go play that sport. If you wanted to work out, go work out. Whatever it is that you wanted to do for yourself that might or will probably get you in front of other human beings, go and do it. The other things, joining societies, parties, clubs, etc., that's more strategically based. So you're thinking about prospecting, but what I'm talking about here when you commit to yourself is there are opportunities to improve yourself, which happen to be with other people that will always be potential clients. You could wrap that in a strategy by saying, well, I want to work at, I forget what it's called, the elite Virgin Active rather than the normal Virgin Active, because the cost of a whole lot of money more, so there are probably people of greater wealth there, whatever it is. Take that thing that you want to do for yourself and wrap it in a strategy. Okay. What about self-improvement? Like you want to finally go to a dietitian. Well, go to a dietitian. That dietitian could be your client. That dietitian, it's not cheap to go to a dietitian and to embark on a program and follow the diet. And eating's not cheap. Eating healthily is not cheap either. So dietitians may very well have as patients or clients many of your potential clients. So you could not only get your service provider, being the dietitian, as your client, but also convert that dietitian to a center of influence for yourself. So you genuinely go there to work on yourself and improve your eating habits, but it could be an opportunity to form a relationship with that dietitian so that he or she refers their clients to you. There's a lot of work that we do on centers of influence. It's not as simple as going, hey, send me a client, I'll let you in on some of the commission. It's actually far more professional than that. And other self-improvement could be get a coach. The most powerful way that you can work on yourself insofar as looking forward and moving forward and creating the new version of yourself so that you can build the business that you want to, is to work with a coach. So I am a coach. I'm an executive life coach. I own a coaching and consulting business. And one of my products in the business is Insane Prospecting. A lot of my clients are financial advisors. A lot of those financial advisors have not just been to the free content that I put out on a daily and weekly basis, but they've worked with me through workshops, through boot camps, and one-on-one. And it is a game changer. If you can get a coach, get a coach. If you can get a mentor, get a mentor. Mentors are free. They should be free. Find a mentor. Find a mentor in your business. Work closely with someone that can teach you, that can inspire you, and that can hold you accountable. Game changer. All right. And from a prospecting perspective, just pick one thing. Even in Insane Prospecting course, I give you 101 things. At the end of that, you build a plan. On the course, you build a plan, and I show you how to do it, and I guide you through it. But even there, I go pick 3 things, because you're not going to, on a regular basis, deeply commit to more than 3 prospecting strategies. So at this point, on the 10th of January, 2023, I say to you, just pick one thing and go with it. Because if you do one thing well, you will do well at it. Commit to it today. Again, you probably know what that one thing is without having to think too much about it. You've had conversations with yourself and maybe others around, I just want to do this thing, or I've wanted to do that thing, or I've been thinking about that thing. I'm too afraid to do it. I don't know how to do it. Just do it. This is the time to commit to it. Pick the thing and commit to it. Then create practices, create habits, and create rituals in the form of tiny, tiny steps in pursuit of this prospecting strategy. In other words, every single day, even multiple times a day, do something. Do something with this one prospecting strategy so that it becomes a ritual. It becomes a habit. It becomes a practice over and over and over. Not for a few days, not for a week, not for a month, for at least 100 days. Unless you've tried something for 100 days, forget about it. You need to institutionalize it within yourself. I want to tell you over here, and this is where I draw on Tony Robbins, and I'll refer you to the video in a bit. But success is progress. And a lot of those that we listen to on the scale of Tony Robbins, Tom Bellew is someone I quote a lot as well, are educating us that we have to progress to experience success. If we stay in the same place all the time, doing the same thing in the same way, that's not progress. And without progress, we will not experience success. Tony Robbins also says, and you'll see in the video, that you've got to set higher standards for yourself. So if you continually just show up at a particular standard, you will remain where you are. You will not you will not move forward, you will not progress, and you will not experience success. He also notes something that I have been speaking about for years and years and years, and I shone the spotlight incredibly brightly on this at the beginning of COVID, because too many people fell into bad habits and keeping bad company. And that's the point I want to make, is you've got to keep good company. If you want to set higher standards and progress so that you can experience success, you've got to keep the company of people that are more successful than you, at least people that are driven and that are setting higher standards for themselves and progressing themselves. You do not want to hang with people that are less successful, that are apathetic. I spoke about that at the beginning of this, because they will bring you down. Yes, you may feel good because you're so much better, you have more money, you're more successful, you're more in action with them. But that's not going to move you forward. That's going to keep you where you are, or even worse, it's going to pull you down to their level. So choose your company. Lastly, have a vision, because whatever you do from a prospecting perspective has to be towards some kind of goal. So if you're prospecting today, what is it for? I'm prospecting so that I can build my business, I can get AUM to 100 million, I can have financial freedom, or maybe that's more lifestyle. But the prospecting leads into business, which leads into life. So ultimately, you can fill in the blanks over here, and you can color the picture. But I'm saying that you're prospecting to build a business, to build a life. That's what it's about, right? Every financial advisor gets to a point where they say, I want fewer clients, I want more money, and I want to work less. In other words, I want more time, and I want a lifestyle, which is ironically often what you're helping your clients do, right? But how often do you do that for yourself? How often do you sit back and think, you're planning your clients' financials so that they can be financially free, or at least independent, so that they can live the life they want. But you're building a business by doing this so that you can hit your business goals, so that you can live the life you want. That's why there's a parallel between financial planning and life planning, which a lot of coaches and financial planners have realized over the years, which is why we have behavioral coaching in financial planning. Okay, so the Tony Robbins video that you want to watch is the one, I think it's from 2015, where he intended to speak about New Year's resolutions for 5 minutes. And he went on for 35 minutes. It's got about 43,000 views. No, I don't know. That doesn't sound right. It's probably 43 million. I don't know. It's got a lot of views, but it was posted by a guy called Jason Lipoff. And by the way, again, the date today is 10th of January. At the beginning of the video, he says that statistics reflect that by the 15th of January, our New Year's resolutions are completely forgot about. Maybe because we're intoxicated and it was a big party and we came up with these resolutions and we told everyone around us. And then as we sobered up the next day and we came back to work and we started preparing the kids for school, we just forgot about them. But statistically, halfway through January, bam, they're gone. Okay. What I love about this video is that it's so much more than New Year's resolutions. It's so much more than goals. He goes into the depth of mindset, and it is about who you are that will support you in what you need to do in order to create what you want. And no one can articulate it better than Tony Robbins. So check out that video. And then for you, in the meantime, because it's a new year, I'm not going to just talk about mindset. I have to talk about strategy. So I started just now with general strategy, right? But I'm going to go specific right now. So I'm going to share with you two very specific strategies. And I'm not going to go into detail because I don't think you need the detail. You just need the concept. I give you the concept, you go with it. And the concept is very simple. The first is, let's assume you're a less experienced advisor, or maybe you're younger, or you're newer to the industry, or you just don't have as established a business as someone that's been around the block for a number of years. So my suggestion in terms of a strategy to adopt and put into practice immediately is call someone you know. Ask who they are concerned about insofar as their financial planning is concerned. In other words, maybe they don't have a medical aid or they don't have life cover. Yes, we're leading with product over here, but we have to enter into a conversation with something, right? Okay, who are they concerned about? And ask them if they can introduce you to that person. Now, see what you're doing. You're not calling someone to prospect them. You're calling someone to ask them to introduce you to someone else. Now, it's most likely going to be someone you already have a relationship with. It could be an existing client. It could be a friend, a family member, an acquaintance. It could be someone that you know, the owner of a coffee shop that you're always chatting to when you're having your morning coffee. Anyone. Ask them who they're concerned about from a financial planning perspective, and ask them to introduce you to that person. Now, I get that there may be some gaps you have to fill in, like educating that person as to what you do and how you do it, and why you're different to anyone else, and why they should introduce you to that person. But that's an opportunity for you to hone your skill, practice your pitch, work on your value proposition, and potentially get that person that you're speaking to initially as a client as well, and maybe even a center of influence going forward. All right, that's the first. The second one I would describe as perhaps more professional, maybe for the more seasoned advisor, the one with a client base, the one that's been around the block more. Set up a Zoom call or a Teams call or a Google Meets or whatever platform you want to use with someone like an economist. And it really doesn't matter which business you're in. If it's a big business, you have your economist or economists within the business. If you're a smaller business, you have provider businesses, which are the big businesses that have economists. And what these economists love more than anything is speaking to your clients or potential clients. So set up a call, invite an economist to do a 20-minute market update, for example, and invite 5 people that you know and want as clients. You can word the marketing around it. You can come up with the pitch. You can package it in the way that you want. It really doesn't matter. Most people in January of a new year would love to know what's going on in the world, especially if they are the clients that you want, which are probably, if we're working at more of a professional level, are probably more in tune with what's happening in the world, but they've been on holiday for 5 weeks and haven't kept up with news and would love the perspective of an economist. You could use another professional. It could be a different theme, but don't make it about product. Never, ever make these about product. Okay. Make it about what matters to the potential clients. So invite those 5 clients. 10 clients, 15 clients, but you can do it with 5. It doesn't matter. Call it by invitation only. We have on the 17th of January at 11 o'clock, 20 minutes with the economist from, this is his name, and you are exclusively invited. Okay. If you are watching this recorded version on a platform other than Zoom or not through the website, which I guess is what I'm trying to say, please go to the website, insaneprospecting.co.za/webinar, and sign up if you're not signed up already. This will give you access to the weekly webinars where you can just sign in, go in live through Zoom, and participate in the weekly Q&A and chit-chats after the webinar. It will give you access to the newsletters, alerts to what's going on. I don't spam. At the most, you'll get one email. Not the most. You might get one email a week. If there's something going on, you might get a second email a week. And there are benefits to being a site member. So please follow us on social media as well. Insane Prospecting is on LinkedIn. Insane Prospecting is on Facebook. Insane Prospecting for Financial Advisors. There's a general group and also an exclusive private group and Instagram. And we post daily, starting from today for 2023. Every single workday, Insane Prospecting posts across these social media platforms. It won't change your life. It won't completely change your business. But if you look back over the weeks and months of all of the content that we post and you put it together, you've got more content than you could ever imagine. More content practical and executable than you could probably ever get from any one book on prospecting for financial advisors. Not that that exists to my mind anyway. Okay. That's it for today.